Hey folks, Chef Cutting here. Have you been to New Orleans? Or how they say in their area, New Orleans? Have you been there? Have you tried real live Louisiana cooking? The gumbos, the etouffees, and the beignets. Amazing cooking, amazing food. And I have to say that I've had the privilege of working with quite a lot of different cooks and chefs from that area. And there's just no other way of saying it. The French Canadians really settled into that part of the world and influenced a lot of just the culture and the culinary world over centuries. And now it's shared all over the world. And you know, your typical gumbo is made with okra, and it's almost a gelatinous kind of meal. And if it's made properly, it is the most delicate and amazing sensation of flavors you're ever going to have. But I've got even better news than that. The folks here at Cajun Blend du Jour have created these kind of foods to just do that in your very own kitchen. This is the quick fix Cajun mix with red beans and rice. And this is just one of many things they offer. They also have, which is one of my personal favorites, the Cajun quick fix gumbo, which really takes a lot of the hard work out of making gumbo. For those of you that have done that before, you know you're going to sit there and simmer and boil and prep for a very long time. This actually takes it all away and gives you just one easy step to cook with. But I'm going to tell you something before I get any further. I just want to let you know that these folks here know what they're doing. They've got a solid background in this kind of culinary art form, and I have used them myself, and I am about to show you just how I use them. Take a look. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be using these two wonderful recipes right here by the Cajun Blend du Jour folks. They're both very, very delicious. They're very, very authentic and very traditional, and you know what? They're easy to use. So let's get started. We're going to start with the more time-consuming one, which is the gumbo. So we'll use this first. Let's do it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 4 cups of water. Now, the recipe to use the whole bag is to use 8. So I'm doing a half recipe if you're going to follow the recipe on the bag. But we're just going to do 4 because we don't really need to serve this as we were in the restaurant if I need to make 16 or 20 servings. So it's 4 cups of water. The recipe says 8. Again, we're doing a half-time recipe, so you can double everything I do here to make one recipe using 1 full bag. So just remember that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to use is my okra. This is frozen okra. It's the easiest to find. I want to do the recipe as easy for you as possible. Fresh okra is always more desired, but it's very difficult to find in some stores, especially in some areas. So frozen okra is very easy to find. You can find it in your local grocery store. These are sliced just right. They're about 1/4 inch slice. So we're going to put those in the water. And again, this is a half a pound as opposed to a full pound if we were making the full recipe. Okay, I have here a can of tomatoes. I'm going to just use 3/4 of the can, so right about there, and I'm going to put that in with our mixture. You may have noticed that the tomatoes were whole tomatoes. You need to have diced tomatoes, so I just diced them up. I like being able to have my option to dice them the size I like. So here they go into the mixture like so. So as you can see here, I've started to cut the chicken. I'm going to cut it into strips first and then into chunks. So very simply cut into pieces like that, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut them into chunks like so. And if you have a real thick piece of chicken, you can cut it actually lengthwise first and then into chunks afterwards, so you have a much more solid piece. So like these pieces of chicken, I'll cut like that so they're more unified. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take 1 cup of chicken and 2 cups of chicken, and
We're going to place those in the bowl here, and we're going to simmer this for about 20 minutes. So about 20 minutes we're going to simmer it with half the packet of our Cajun gumbo mix. So this is approximately half the packet. It works out to be a 1 1/4 cup of the actual quick fix Cajun mix from the bag. So if you have a scale at home, you'd also want to weigh out 8.12 ounces. But this is the equivalent of that. Otherwise, if you're making a full batch, just put the whole bag in. But this is a half batch, so we're putting that in there. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just simply mix this up real quick. And I'm just going to mix the ingredients together like so. And then I'm going to put this on the stove, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes. Okay, so now as you can see, the gumbo has come to a rolling boil. Now this is very important. The gumbo should always come to a rolling boil because that's what activates the ingredients. Once it's to a rolling boil, then turn the heat down and simmer it for that 20 minutes. Don't boil it all the way because you'll burn it, and don't just simmer it because you may not activate everything that's in that packet. And of course, allow all these wonderful vegetables and aromatic flavors to really release in that temperature. So now we're going to simmer this for 20 minutes. Let's do this. Okay folks, for the gumbo we're going to get started. We're going to serve it in a nice big serving dish that we're going to use with an accompaniment of white rice. Okay folks, I'm going to go ahead and serve this with a nice mound of piping hot white rice. I'm going to put that right in the middle like that. And I'm going to want to see the texture stay together when I put the gumbo over it. Now sometimes people will dig a hole in the middle like this, and then they'll place the gumbo in the middle like that, or they'll just pour it right over. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of leave a hole like this, but I'm still going to let it kind of seep around it because you just really want to get that gumbo all over this rice. So let's do that. And look at that gumbo. Look at how it turned out. It's so beautiful in the kitchen. Oh, it just totally smells like Louisiana right now. So I'm going to go ahead and serve this. And you can see that the okra has broken down. Okra has what's called file in it, which causes a natural thickener. And we're just going to go ahead and just start working our way into the middle like so. And then we're just going to just let some of that overflow. I want to get some of that awesome gumbo around the rice like that. Look at that. That's just amazing. Oh, it's just so good. Look at that, folks. And keep a little bit of the white there because it really makes a nice dramatic finish. This can serve about 4 people, what we just made, for a very hearty meal. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I can't give you a better gumbo than this if I was to make it from scratch. The folks over at Cajun Blend du Jour have made an incredible, easy to make gumbo that you can make at your house or in your restaurant. And I can tell you, I use them in both. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, our traditional Cajun Blend du Jour chicken gumbo. Bon appetit. Okay, here we're going to go ahead and use our Cajun Blend du Jour Quick Fix Cajun Mix. This is with the red beans and rice. This is going to be awesome. It's so easy to make, and I'm going to be using a very mild sausage. You know, it says on the directions use an andouille sausage, or you can use any kind. Actually, you can use any kind of sausage you like. My preference would be a very, very mild sausage. So I'm using these sausages, which are like an andouille sausage, but they actually have no heat in them, whereas a lot of andouille sausages do. So when you use a sausage that's really too spicy, what ends up happening is it overpowers the flavor of your red beans and rice, and we really don't want to take away from all the wonderful flavors that the Cajun mix has in the packet. The aromatic flavor, the traditional flavor, and of course the Cajun flavor. So we're going to get started on this recipe. It's going to be very, very simple and very, very quick. So let's do it. Okay, we're going to put 4 cups of water in here. You just need to go ahead and just measure that out. If you want the rice to be drier, put 3.5 cups of water in. I'm going to do that because I like to have dry rice. But when you put 4 cups of water in this, you should expect something of a broth to be left over. And that's quite okay. You know, in Creole land, we call that gravy. So we're going to just go ahead and leave that like that. Okay, we have the sausage here. We're going to cut this in some nice even cuts. I like to go straight on a bias cut because it shows more surface area of the sausage, and it kind of gives the dish a little more of a texture. But you're welcome to cut it any way you like. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the bag. It's very easy to open up, and as I said before, very simple. If you see big pieces like this, it doesn't matter, it's going to break up in the water. Just drop it all in there like that. And then just follow the directions on the back of the bag. It's really simple. We're going to bring this to a rolling boil, and we're going to simmer this for approximately 20 minutes. And then we're going to remove this from the heat, and this step is very important, okay? We want to let it rest undisturbed. So put it somewhere where no one's going to mess with it, and leave it there for at least 5 minutes before you serve it. Because the resting is part of the reason why this is such a traditional dish. Because in the Cajun world, a lot of our spices and the aromatic flavors that come out in these dishes are because we give it time to rest and really absorb those flavors so that every bite tastes truly Cajun. Okay, as you can see here, our Cajun mix with the red beans and rice has come to a boil. Very, very important that you're stirring it and making sure that it all is getting mixed evenly. And what's really, really important here is to get it to that rapid boil. You can see the beans are split in. You can see that they're rehydrated. The boil is very important, so don't ignore the boil. But once it's boiled, turn that heat down, get it to a simmer, because a simmer is like maybe 1 or 2 on your gas range, or maybe even 1 on your electric range. You don't want this thing boiling away. So let's make sure we do that, folks, and back to the stove it goes for about 20 minutes. And folks, as you can see here, I've let this sit for about 5 or 6 minutes to totally set, and it's totally servable. So what we're going to do now is we're going to serve it in a wonderful serving dish with some great garnish. Let's do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. As you can see, this is a nice consistency here. Again, this is a drier, more stickier rice with the beans. If you want it more brothy, then you of course add the 4 full cups. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it in this nice big serving bowl right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and make this the center of the attention. I'm going to add a little bit of cheddar cheese on the top like that. Now, I don't want to overpower it, right? So you just want to use this as a garnish. You don't want to cover it in cheese. Okay? And then I'm going to take a little bit of sour cream, and I'm going to just make that into a dollop. And I'm just going to put that right on the top like that. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to use the mild teaser spice that they have at Cajun Blend. It's the mild teaser. And I'm going to put just a little pinch on top of the sour cream. Look at that. That, my friends, is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the very, very best that the folks over in Cajun Blend du Jour can give you. A traditional and authentic red beans and rice, straight from the folks at the Cajun Blend du Jour family. Bon appetit.